Nothing cuts deeper than family, especially when they're holding the scissors. Hi. My name's Mackenzie Mack Dawson, and I'm a 29-year-old mixed media artist from Cedar Falls, Iowa. I never thought I'd be standing here, voice shaking, telling strangers what my own sister did to me, but after last weekend, I need to know if I'm the bad guy for choosing myself. For the past 5 years, I've been rebuilding my life piece by piece, literally. After getting out of a controlling relationship, I turned to art to heal. Not the kind you hang over a couch to match the throw pillows. I mean raw, honest work, stitched journals, reclaimed barn wood, broken glass turned into something beautiful. It's messy. It's real. And it's mine. This spring, I was finally given the chance to show it all in my first solo exhibition at the Riverfront Gallery in Des Moines. The show was called Still Standing. The centerpiece. A 6-foot sculpture I built from my grandma's old quilting frame, the same one she used to teach Brooke and me how to stitch when we were kids. I wrapped it in fabric I'd hand-embroidered with phrases like I choose me, my voice matters, and I am not what was done to me. Every stitch took hours. Every splinter on that wood held a memory, some sweet, some sharp. I told my little sister, Brooklyn Brooke Dawson, yeah, my Midwestern parents really named her Brooklyn, about the show weeks in advance. She's 26, lives back home in our parents' basement, and has been adrift. She's sweet when she wants to be, but lately, there's been this edge to her. Like she's always waiting for life to hand her a trophy just for showing up. When I told her about the opening, she gave me this tight smile and said, "Must be nice. Everyone always clapping for you." I brushed it off. Sibling stuff, right? We've all been there. But then, the night before the show, everything changed. I left the gallery around 10 p.m., exhausted but glowing. My pieces were hung. The lighting was perfect. Even the little wildflower arrangements I'd picked from my backyard were in place. I went home, set my alarm, and dreamed of people finally seeing me, not just the good daughter or the quiet one, but the woman who survived and created something from the wreckage. At 6 a.m., my phone rang. It was Claire, the gallery owner. Her voice cracked. "Mac, you need to come down here. Now." I drove through the dewy Iowa morning with my heart in my throat. When I walked in, I stopped dead. My centerpiece was in ruins. The quilting frame snapped clean in half. The embroidered panels slashed with fabric shears. Threads hung like frayed nerves. My watercolors, delicate pieces painted with rainwater I'd collected from my roof during thunderstorms, were sprayed with something that made the colors bleed into muddy ghosts. And someone had swapped out all my artist statements, replacing them with fake quotes from famous male painters, like I'd stolen their work. Worst of all, taped to what was left of the sculpture was a single pink ribbon, the kind we used to tie in our hair as kids. A signature. A taunt. The security footage didn't lie. At 2:17 a.m., Brooke walked in using the spare key I'd given her just in case, hoodie up, gloves on, moving like she'd rehearsed it. She spent 52 minutes destroying my show. Not stealing. Not vandalizing randomly. Targeting. Piece by piece, she unmade me. When I confronted her, she didn't cry. Didn't deny it. She leaned against the porch swing at our parents' house, the same one we shared secrets on as girls, and said, "Maybe if you weren't so busy being everyone's inspiration, you'd notice the people right in front of you rotting away." I felt sick. This wasn't jealousy. This was cruelty dressed up as pain. I didn't post her name online. But I did share the footage, face blurred, on my Instagram, with a simple caption. Sometimes the people who know your heart are the ones who know exactly where to stab. My followers, mostly women who've been told to shrink themselves, stay quiet, forgive endlessly, understood. But my family, they lost it. Mom called me heartless. Dad said, "She's your sister, Mac, blood forgives." They've started a GoFundMe for Brooke's emotional recovery, painting her as the victim of my public shaming. Meanwhile, Brooke posted a tearful Instagram story saying I weaponized my trauma and that the art world is full of phonies. I went to the police. Filed a report for criminal mischief. Sent a cease and desist. And I told my parents, if they want to be in my life, they can't fund her silence while demanding my forgiveness. Now they're saying I've turned my back on family. That I'm dramatic. That I should have handled it behind closed doors. But here's what they don't get: this wasn't just art. It was my testimony. And when your own sister tries to erase your truth with a pair of scissors, silence isn't grace. It's surrender. Let me be clear, I've always tried to lift Brooke up. When she dropped out of community college, I helped her apply for jobs. When her boyfriend ghosted her, I drove 2 hours to bring her ice cream and let her cry on my couch. I even let her use my studio space last winter when she said she wanted to try painting. She painted one canvas, then left it to collect dust while scrolling TikTok for 8 hours straight. I never asked for praise. But I also never expected sabotage. The cost to replace everything? Over $8,000. Insurance won't cover intentional damage by a family member. The gallery had to cancel the opening. Claire, the owner, lost bookings because of the chaos. And me. I lost trust. Not just in Brooke, but in the idea that family is automatic sanctuary. Sometimes, family is the storm. When I asked Brooke to apologize or at least cover the cost of materials, she laughed. You think I have that kind of money? Maybe you should have stuck to teaching kindergarten like Mom wanted. That stung. Because I did teach kindergarten for 3 years. I left because I couldn't breathe. Art saved me. And she knows that. Now, every time I see a pink ribbon, my stomach knots. Every time my mom texts, "Can't we just move on?" I feel like I'm being asked to glue my broken pieces back together with silence. But I won't. Because women like us, we've been told to be small, to forgive fast, to keep the peace even when our peace is built on our own buried pain. Well, I'm done burying. So, AITA for exposing what happened. For choosing my healing over her comfort. For refusing to pretend this was just a mistake. For finally saying, you don't get to destroy me and still call yourself my family. Because nothing cuts deeper than family, especially when they're holding the scissors, and smiling like they've finally evened the score. And maybe that's the real tragedy, not the ruined art, but the fact that she thought destroying me would make her feel whole.